Okay everybody, well welcome back. This is going to be our second video of the three-part series with regards to the 60-degree transition L 10 by 8 inch, 8 inches tall. And that setup there, if you could see that, sorry. Transition L 10 by 8, 8 inches tall on that. So here we go with that. First things first is, here's what we're looking at. We're going to have a rolled back section, and then there's going to be a straight section on that heel. And then because it's too short to run this by itself through our lockformer, we're going to attach that right onto the end of it, and we're going to figure that out, what that distance has to be from here to here right now. So, being this is a 60-degree elbow, it's going to be calculated pi divided by 3 this time equals 1.047, and then we've got to multiply it by our radius of 4 inches. And then don't forget to add on your additional straight sections, the 1/2 inch here and the 1/2 inch up here, so plus 1 inch, for a total length of the throat of 5.18 inches, which is, so 5.188 inches is our stretch out length there. So let's check that. Let's verify that with our wire next on that 5.188 inches. Stretch my tape measure out here, and let's see how this comes out if I pull that to verify that my calculations are indeed correct. So if I hold that on there, and if I start at right at 12, oops, get that together, it comes out to right at about 5 1/8 inches. So 5.125 is 1/8, so we're really close, 5 1/8. The next thing we want to calculate is our stretch out length for the heel. That one's a little more challenging because there's a straight section at the top and the bottom, but it's just a little bit different. A little different radius where we started our radius from. So first thing we got to do, we'll type in our calculator, again, pi divided by 3. And we've got a decimal 1.047 again. Hold that number for a second. And then we got to figure out what our radius was. Now, if you recall, we did all that work, all in points, to find 0.8 to determine this radius. So I'm going to measure that, what that radius is, and it looks like I've got about 9 3/4 inches. So I'm going to use that for my radius there. So 1.047, which was pi divided by 3, times 9 3/4, 0.75, and I've got 10.2 inches. Now, that is just from this point, a 1/2 inch up on the sheet, to 0.7. Now we got to add an additional, whatever this measures to our length, 4 1/4 plus 4.25 to 14.46, and then don't forget your straight 1/2 inch down here, plus another 0.5 or 1/2 inch, for a total of 14.96 inches is what our stretch out length should be here. So again, we're going to try to verify that with the wire, setting that on the outside of the piece. Roll that all the way around there till we hit the end. Mark it. And let's see if we can verify anything close to 14.9 or almost 15 inches on there. And it looks like it comes right out just under 15 inches. So that should be just fine. 14.96. So the next thing is we're going to transfer those dimensions, the 14.96, or rather 15 inches, close enough for me, to our heel and our throat. So we'll be back for that in a little bit. Okay, we're going to go for the throat. Then we're going to measure those dimensions, the 14.96, which is 14.93, I think, is 15 or 14 and 15 sixteenths. So we're really close there. If I measure 14 and 15 sixteenths, it's just under 15 there. That should work out for that decimal. So 14 and 15 sixteenths right there. And then I'm going to take my square, set it on there, and we're going to square that line right across. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure my 5 1/8 on the end of that. 12, 5 1/8, using the red numbers there. And wow, that's just going to work out just long enough with that scrap piece. And we're going to mark that all the way across there. Then we're going to run up to the shear. We're going to cut that off and then finish notching. I'm going to let this together for a second, but I am going to cut the piece to length so I can notch the ends and take everything out before I run it through the lock former. So I just got to take this about 3/8 of an inch off this piece to cut my length. So put it in there where it belongs. And that's all I had to do to cut my length. Let's go back there and let's finish notching up. Okay, back here at the bench, we're going to work on notching this thing out here. So first things first, let's take care of the ends, the open connections on each side. And if you haven't seen it, I already used my 7/8 to mark both the top and the bottom all the way across for my lock former's take-up. So that's where that came from. The next thing I got to do is I got to finish my centers where the throat and the heel are joined right now. So we're going to mark them out using the scraps that we've got. Do that on both sides here. And then with our tin snip, we'll cut them out. Finish cutting off the ears on the ends. Here we are at the lock form. Remember, we're going to run this lines up. It's still together with the heel as well as the throat tied in. So here we go. Keeping it tight against the fence. We're going to push that through. And turn it around and do it again on the other side. With that, we are ready to separate the heel from the throat on the shear. And cutting them off. Now we're ready for the rolling setup. Okay, right before I go to roll these things, what I want to do with the heel is I've got a straight section here that is not going to be rolled, so I'm just going to line that up with the edge and give myself an idea about where I need to stop with my roll on that part before it gets flattened out. The throat's no problem because that's going to have a roll in its entirety. So let's swing over next and let's finish that up. Okay, we're over here at the rolls. And we're going to form this up so the throat measures. So again, you got to look at it and figure out which direction you've got to roll this part. And this one here is going to be lines down for the inner throat. So we're going to set it in there, make certain the brake does, or the rolls don't have too much tension on it, and then we're going to crank that through to match the curvature of the part until we're happy with it. So a little more yet. So on the back, again, even tension on that, and we'll run that through again until the curve of the part matches decent with the cheek. And we're getting pretty close there. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our heel and finish our rolled section on there. You'll notice I got my spacers in there this time, so we shouldn't have any issues with that. Remember, don't go anything past your line. So that's set up and ready to go as well. And this one, it appears that I probably overbent it. Yep, quite a bit actually. So we're going to open that back up. If you tremendously overbend it too much, some of these you can hand form back. Others you will have to run them through the roll in a really loose position and roll them till they get back to their original contour that needs to be. So I should have had that loosened up some more before I went and rolled that. So I'll probably run that through one more time. That'll be quite a bit better. So anyway, that's the rolled part. Thank you for watching. Hopefully this helps you in your projects, and we'll catch you on the next one for assembly of the 60-degree change elbow with the square heel and square throat. So enjoy. We'll talk to you later.